Clint Eastwood has spent more than 60 years in Hollywood, and in all that time, he's never once bothered pretending to be anyone other than exactly who he is. No polished publicist, approved sound bites, no careful hedging to avoid controversy, just blunt, unfiltered opinions delivered the same way whether the microphone was on or off. And more than a few people, over the decades, simply weren't ready for it. Take 2012. In the middle of the Republican National Convention, in front of a live television audience of millions, Eastwood walked onstage and did something no one expected. He had an entire improvised conversation with an empty chair, imagining it as a stand-in for the sitting president. It was strange, it was unscripted, and it split America instantly. Some found it hilarious. Others found it bizarre, and pundits argued about it for weeks. But that was the point. Eastwood didn't care whether it read as polished. He said what he wanted to say, exactly how he wanted to say it, consequences be damned. That same fearlessness showed up again in 2016, when Esquire sat down with him for a lengthy profile. Rather than offering the usual diplomatic non-answers actors give when asked about the culture, Eastwood went in swinging, criticizing what he called an oversensitive generation. Quick to take offense at everything, the quote ricocheted across headlines for days. Late-night hosts joked about it. Op-eds were written both defending and blasting him, and through it all, Eastwood offered no walk back, no follow-up statement softening his words. He'd said what he meant, that was that. It's not just political bluntness, either. Eastwood has been just as direct about Hollywood itself. He's spent decades openly skeptical of the industry's obsession with sequels, franchises, and safe bets, favoring smaller, character-driven films even when studios wanted him chasing bigger box office numbers. Directors who have worked with him describe someone allergic to excessive rehearsal or hand-holding. Eastwood is famous on set for shooting scenes in as few takes as possible, trusting actors to simply do the work rather than overthink it. Some performers have called it liberating. Others, used to Hollywood's more coddling directorial style, found it jarring at first. But perhaps the clearest example of Eastwood's zero-filter reputation came in 2025, in a moment that revealed something else entirely. Just how much people assume he'll say anything, even when he hasn't. An Austrian publication ran a piece framed as an exclusive interview timed to his 95th birthday, featuring Eastwood supposedly ripping into Hollywood's reliance on remakes and franchise filmmaking. The quotes spread like wildfire, picked up by major outlets worldwide, presented as fresh, candid commentary from a legend nearing the end of his career. There was just one problem. Eastwood never gave that interview. He responded the way he responds to everything, directly, and without softening the blow. In a statement to Deadline, he confirmed his age, then flatly stated he'd never spoken to the outlet or any writer in recent weeks, calling the entire piece entirely phony. It turned out the quotes had actually been stitched together from older, unrelated press events over the years, repackaged and presented as if they were a single, timely conversation. The publication ultimately admitted the framing was misleading and cut ties with the freelance writer responsible. What's telling isn't just that the story spread so fast, or that reputable outlets ran with it without verifying. It's that almost nobody questioned whether Eastwood would actually say those things. That's the reputation he's built over 60 years, blunt enough, unfiltered enough, that even fabricated quotes felt entirely plausible coming from him. People didn't need convincing that Clint Eastwood might say something sharp and unapologetic about the industry. They just assumed it, because that's exactly who he's always been. That's ultimately the through line of Eastwood Eastwood's entire public life. Whether he's staring down a room at a political convention, brushing off criticism in a magazine profile, or calmly correcting the record when someone else puts words in his mouth, he does it the same way every time, directly, without apology, and without the slightest concern for whether it makes him more likable. Hollywood has spent decades trying to manage its stars' public images with careful precision. Clint Eastwood simply never signed up for that game. He says what he thinks, stands behind it completely, and lets everyone else sort out how they feel about it. Zero filter isn't a persona for him. It's just who he's always been.